Hey guys, welcome to another Wednesday afternoon. We are covering Commando today on Action Movie Anatomy, one of the great, absurd, awesome comic booky war movies ever. It's not even a war movie, it's just Schwarzenegger's war against the world. Me and Andrew are going to cover it. We're going to break down everything for you. Hang out. We'll see you guys in just 1 second.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Action Movie Anatomy.
Welcome to the show!
Welcome! So sorry we're late.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to Wednesday afternoon to Action Movie Anatomy on the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network talking movies and all things movie related. I'm your host, Ben Bateman, joined today by Mr. Andrew Ghai.
I'm here. What's up, everybody? This was actually the first time I ever saw this movie full, like from beginning to end, sitting down and watching the whole thing. And it was quite the experience.
Oh, quite the experience. This movie defines what like the whole idea of a ridiculous action movie is.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
There's nothing grounded in reality in this movie.
There's a few things. She gets ice cream on his nose at the beginning. That's a thing
that's
happens.
adorable. He's carrying a tree.
They play with a fawn or a fawn is a
fawn. It's a deer. It's a fawn deer.
Right. Okay. What's the thing I'm thinking of that's like a half man, half
centaur?
No. There's minotaur. There's a satyr. There's a what's the other?
Centaur.
Well, I know
satyr and centaur.
Centaur is half horse.
Yeah. Are you thinking of the
satyr,
goat thing from
from Lord of the
Lion Witch?
Yeah, Lion the Witch.
That's a satyr.
It's a satyr.
I think there's a different name for it.
Anyway, guys, sorry we're a little late. There was a miss something on there. It said that we started at 2 o'clock. We actually started at 3 o'clock Wednesday Pacific Standard Time, roughly. We were a little late today because of our buddy was caught in traffic, but that's okay. You know why that's okay?
Why?
Why is that okay? Is that Marilyn Monroe? Is that Marilyn Monroe singing you happy birthday?
Oh,
it is! It is Marilyn Monroe.
Very good.
Happy birthday.
You know, it's National Best Friend Day, so I would prefer if you had just done it yourself in the dress. If I walked in.
Come in time.
It was Mr. Bateman's birthday on Monday, everybody. Wish Ben a happy birthday. He is 21
Thanks.
years old. Finally, congratulations.
Yeah,
you can
thank
start
you.
drinking.
I did 21 shots on Monday.
He sure did.
And it was rough. So, true story, Tuesday mornings for my Magic the Gathering podcast, we usually record Monday nights, but sometimes Tuesday mornings, and we had a scheduled time to record at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. So I just texted Kessler at 8:30, and I was just like, I don't think I'm mobile enough to get to the studio, let alone formulate a sentence or a coherent thought.
Come to me.
So I immediately tweet, birthday was amazing. Whatever the opposite of amazing was is what this hangover is. Kessler, within 30 seconds of it, not realizing, tweets, podcast slightly delayed today due to multiple illnesses between hosts. To which Jimmy and Josh, the other co-hosts on the other Magic podcast, screenshot the two, which are on their screen literally on top of each other, and are just like,
Wonder what that could mean.
In any case, yes, it was a fun birthday.
It was fun. We drank a lot of wine, some scotch that you lost.
Yeah, I lost
some
the
sake. We drank a lot. It was fun. It was a good time. It was
a good time. Yeah.
Happy birthday, brother. Happy National Best Friends Day too, whatever the fuck that is.
Whatever it is. So I usually like introduce you by saying something about your shirt. So you made a conscious decision today to not do like the tie clip.
I did. I just did a whole different thing.
You just felt like you mix it up.
Pastel.
Yeah.
It's a pattern. No tie.
Yeah, I just thought maybe there was a reason. No.
No.
Okay. It's a good looking shirt.
Hey,
It's a
thanks,
good
man. I like the shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Oh, yeah. Hi. We're doing a show right now.
Yeah, welcome to the show. This is Action Movie Anatomy. We talk action movies on this show. The movies on this show are generally made 1981 or later. They adhere to 4 basic rules. Those 4 basic rules are: rule number 1, the hero always plays by their own rules. John Matrix definitely plays by his own rules.
Own set of rules.
Rule number 2, the hero and the villain are always the smartest people, beings, things, dinosaurs, whatever, in the room. I mean, we could say Bennett's the smartest dressed.
we could say that.
We could say that.
We could say that Arius has the smartest fake Puerto Rican. I hate him.
He's also from a fake country that existed for films in the 80s and 90s. So did you read this?
No, I wrote South American because I figured that's what he was just trying to do.
Yeah. So there's a great bit here that I should have. Oh, it's what? No. I'll find it later. Anyway, the point is there was basically a fake country that was created for the use of films that like couldn't discuss.
Where they were?
Yeah, like
okay.
it's a fake South American country that's
Right.
referenced in Die Hard 2, in Predator, in this movie. and that's where he's from.
The Isla de Muerta.
Yeah, something like that. Well, hopefully we'll find it hidden in these notes. I thought I copied it, but maybe not. In any case, so that is rule number 2. Rule number 3, the movie is driven by a police, military, political, or mercenary figure.
Perfect.
100%.
Yep.
And rule number 4, there's at least one explosion. I mean, there's an explosion of testosterone.
This
the second
movie-
Schwarzenegger even he enters the screen.
Right.
It's just like bicep.
This movie hit all 4 rules within the first 5 minutes, but that's because you thought Bill Duke was the bad guy.
He kind of was.
He should have been. He was such a badass in the beginning.
Yeah.
He was the only intimidating bad guy in the whole thing, and they have a good fight. Like, he should have been the main bad guy.
I also like that. Yeah, Bennett's. We'll get to that. Bill Duke.
God damn it, let me finish.
Bill Duke is just sweet. It's funny that he is like shows up in a suit in Predator at the beginning on the helicopter.
yeah.
He's also wearing a suit in this one on the back of the. Or no, it's not on the garbage truck. That's his general MO during the movie. Is he's like wearing a suit. He's like real dapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, great career Bill Duke had.
I love him.
He was in like 4 or 5 things that mattered. I think he was in Menace to Society, I believe.
Don't be a menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Is that what he was in?
No. Just that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, so he was going there. So that's the 4 rules. That's how we generally pick the movies. Commando is one that we have, I think, planned on doing for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like we hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah. You guys picked this movie.
Yeah, I want to read off. Some of the suggestions from last week.
Okay.
Because what we're gonna do is just the same as we did last week, and we're gonna start trying to do this sort of just a bit more often.
Yeah, we like involving you guys, and you guys are the ones that make this show happen. So you guys should be the ones picking the movies that we do, and we kind of had it in a way where we would pick them and you would narrow it down. Why don't you guys just pick them?
Yeah.
We'll just do them.
100%. So I'm going to read off some of the movies that you guys suggested, as well as let everybody know that you should follow us all on Twitter. So I'm Ben Bateman Media.
You can find me at Andrew Ghai.
We have a sweet Twitter at AMA Podcast that I shared an image this morning that went viral. Did you see that image?
Yeah. It's got more followers than I do, and it's been around half as long.
Did you see the image that I shared?
It's got more followers than I do, and it's been around half as long. Just want to say that one more time.
Saw this, right?
Oh, dude, I know.
JK Simmons?
looks insanely yoked.
He's just getting jacked to play Commissioner Gordon.
Horrifying. That beard, amazing.
Amazing. That's this tweet from our account this morning.
I thought that someone did like a white face on Kimbo's Slice when I first was scrolling by on Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, that's J.K. Simmons.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna read off some of these, some of the choices that you guys threw at us, because there was a lot of really good ones. And you guys actually have been really, really wonderful about like throwing stuff at our Twitter. There's a bunch of stuff we get tagged in. So let's see some of the ones that people threw out. So we definitely got Commando. Fast 5 was listed here. We got let's see what else. Let's keep going down here. We got Roadhouse. We got True Lies. We got Die Hard 3, Tango and Cash.
They've been talking about Inception in the chat the entire time the show's been going on.
Cliffhanger. I mean, of course we would love to do Inception. It's hard to justify that movie as an action movie.
Someone here they're like sitting here like debating each other, and they're saying like plus one of the best ones is plus Inception has action first on IMDb under its subcategories.
I mean,
that's basically a yes.
I love that movie.
I do too.
Executive Decision, 7 Psychopaths. That was an interesting suggestion we got.
The Hunted.
The Hunted was on there. Yep. I admitted to falling asleep the first time I tried watching it.
Hey, Brian Hurst, how you doing, man? I saw you in the chat. You and me are going strong on our streak of never, ever getting our movies picked, but that's all right. It's all right.
Dread was one that was suggested. So anyway, the point is, Shoot 'Em Up was suggested twice.
I don't like that movie.
Yeah, I don't really like it either. Yeah. But the point is, guys, we are going to do the same thing that I believe we did last week. So if you're watching this episode and you didn't watch last week's episode and you want to throw movies, any of the ones that we just suggested, feel free to throw them at us again. I think we're going to just do another audience pick next week. We will get to the Bourne Supremacy in the next couple of weeks, I would say, because we have about a month and change until Bourne.
That Vegas scene looks insane.
Yeah, it looks epically sweet.
Yeah.
Really sweet.
So post it on it at AMA Podcast, and we'll just post all the movies. We'll kind of collect them, we'll do the data, come up with our algorithm, and then make it pull. Our phones are always on vibrate, so we make sounds for them for each other when we're using them.
Right. That's the thing that best friends do.
Yeah, it is. Let's watch the trailer.
Yeah. It's a good episode today. We just lost 7 Twitter followers.
We lost it. No one's watching anymore.
You know, Colonel, we went to a lot of trouble to find you.
You know, Colonel, we went to a lot of trouble to find you.
Great accent.
And they took the only thing he would kill for.
Alyssa
If you want your
Milano.
kid back, then you gotta cooperate.
Right?
Wrong. They give away all of the best one-liners in the trailer. You know that?
Somewhere,
I didn't.
somehow, someone's gonna pay.
What is that? What is that thing?
Do you think that he is going to give us any problems?
You'll do exactly as he's told.
Oh my god.
Freddie Mercury was cast in the film.
He really was.
Sally. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
Are you gonna tell me what's going on or what?
She might be the worst, actually.
I think the general's the worst, and then her.
He's dead tired.
The general literally is acting like he's got this look on his face like he just had sex all the time. He's never fazed by anything. He's
Kirby.
there'd be a lot more bodies.
Sally, I promised
Okay.
to kill you last.
That's what Major did.
I lied.
I told you all the good lines.
Yeah, and he shows you him killing Sully. That's terrible. I wanted him to pick up Sully and rip his arms off.
Oh yeah, and he absolutely could have, because by the end of this film, wait, where are all the things I copied down? I'm so
He
disappointed.
killed 102 people, if that's what you're looking at.
No, I was looking at the part of it where like the guy that trained him for 2 months as a black belt in martial arts was like, by the end of filming, Schwarzenegger could have been a double black belt in karate. No, in no way do I believe a second of that.
In karate, they teach you to pick up cars and Porsches and push Broncos up hills.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So anyway, that is the trailer for Commando. A very bad trailer. Definitely the era of time when like they just hadn't even remotely figured it out yet.
Yeah.
That's like just
It was like, you're coming to the movies to watch Arnold. It doesn't matter what we put on this trailer.
yeah, right. 85, like that's early. Like this is what's the oldest movie we've done on the show now? This is the third movie from 85 we've done.
This has got to be, there's nothing we've done from 84, right?
Yeah, First Blood Part 2, Rocky 4, those are both 85. I don't think we've done, so Terminator 1 is 84, I think, or 83.
Yeah.
So we'll end up doing that eventually.
Terminator, yeah, is 84.
But I don't think we've gotten close to the 81 mark yet. So this is just as old as it gets. Look at that picture of Schwarzenegger.
When did Terminator 2 come out?
91, I think.
91.
90 or
okay.
91.
All right.
Yeah, I love that movie. That movie, that's like one of those movies I just want to do again.
When did Aliens come out?
86.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it was. It's Aliens. Aliens came out a year after this movie, and
Yeah.
it's
just like not even
It's
fair.
just not even the same world. And by the way, guys, we know this isn't a good movie. It's a terribly bad good movie.
Yeah.
And it does fit our show, so that's why we're doing it.
It's
Actually, we're doing it because you guys picked it.
It's an awesome movie. Great. So what we are going to get into now, guys, is something called Action Movie Tagline. And this is a perfect movie to do Action Movie Tagline with.
I got a good one.
Do you?
I'm proud of mine this week.
Action Movie Tagline, Andrew's drinking whiskey out of a Diet Coke can. This is the thing where we're like, we would go to the video store as a kids and we would like see these little quotes on boxes and it's like, this is the thing that sells the movie. We kind of come up with our own silly version of that and we pitch them for a second here because it gives us a laugh and you guys seem to enjoy them as well. So if you'd like to share your Action Movie Tagline, feel free. Post it in the comments.
Yeah.
Some of you guys did the whole Born.
Yeah, the ranking. That was
thing.
awesome.
Yeah, there was like at least 4 or 5 people that did like their own chart, their own list. It was really cool to see.
And we saw all of them just because we are very busy, but we do love your guys' interaction. And it was cool because a lot of them varied quite a bit.
Yeah.
It seemed like MI3 and Casino Royale and actually Born Supremacy and
Yeah.
Identity were near the top 5 on most lists.
For most of them, yeah. Pretty much everybody was in agreement that Quantum of Solace is the worst.
Yeah, Quantum of Solace, Inspector, and MI2.
Yeah, right. Movies that will all get done on this show eventually.
Yeah,
MI2, 100%.
Oh, MI2 definitely. Quantum of Solace probably not.
Yeah.
Spectre we were gonna do when we were doing our Casino Royale episode. I don't know if I'm sure we said this on the show, which you guys should go watch our Casino Royale episode. It's got Miss Kathy Kelly on it. Who's
She's
now on
famous now.
She's famous now. We're not. She
Yeah.
is.
she AMA launched Kathy Kelly.
She's prettier than both of us.
She did 2 episodes of the show and immediately got noticed by the WWE.
Something is amazing what this show will do for your career. But yeah, she's on WWE now. You can check her out at Catherine Kelly. But we did the Casino Royale episode. We were gonna do Spectre, and we went and watched it.
Yeah.
And we walked out of the theater. You're like, I'm texting you right now. We can't do this fucking movie.
It just was like just not good.
It was not good at all.
It just wasn't good. But MI2, though not being a good movie, has a guy by the name of Tom Cruise in
I don't know
it.
if you guys have heard of him.
And we're for sure going to do that movie. So anyway, Action Movie Tagline. Let's do it. Andrew, what's your Action Movie Tagline?
All right, I'm doing it. Here we go. Here's my phone. My phone is filled with pictures, so it moves very slowly.
Like camera phone.
Ever wonder what it's like to watch the Terminator go head-to-head with a fatter, uglier, less talented Freddie Mercury? No? Okay. Then stick around for the dad from Clueless performing the worst portrayal of a South American you've ever seen. Still not intrigued? Okay. Then, come watch Arnold pick up numerous things a human cannot pick up. That's it.
That's great. That's phenomenal.
I honestly thought it was gonna end after the no. Okay.
No, okay. I should have ended it there. Can we start over?
Yep. Back to 1.
Back to 1.
All right, ready for this?
I'm ready.
His gun is always loaded. No shirt, no shoes, no pants, no problem. Arnold Schwarzenegger is John Matrix. Commando, where you are the endangered species. Did I say Congo or Commando?
I think that was great. That was very good.
You like that?
Those were those are the best two I think we've done in a while.
In a while.
Yeah.
That's solid. Rock solid. Short but sweet.
All right, guys. I want to see yours if you got time to do it. Let's check out yours in the live chat.
No shirt, no shoes, no pants, no service is a reference to the part where Schwarzenegger is on like the little like life raft and he's just like, I'm gonna wear a Speedo.
Yeah, it just cuts to him. He's just like basically naked.
Yeah.
He's so shredded.
He's
It's
so
insane.
jacked. It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Specimen.
It's also crazy to think that Schwarzenegger won his final Mr. Olympia in '76. This movie's 10 years later,
And he still looks like that.
yeah, he's like in his mid 30s at this point. Like he's getting into like his mid to late 30s. At
And
this
he
point.
never took steroids.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's not true. Okay, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna keep my eyes on here, and we'll see if you guys get a good tagline going. And what we got going next, man?
Thesis statement. So this is a part of the show, guys. Anybody who's watched the show a long time, this is kind of like our big bold idea, the thing that we paid attention to the most, that really sells the movie for us. Like sells it or does not sell it. It's usually rooted in hyperbole. It's like something very big and bold. The best this, the greatest this, the worst this, the only this. It shouldn't be like, this is my favorite headshot in a movie ever. Like, that's a relevant thing to talk about. That's the thing we talk about on the show, but that's not going to really drive your opinion on the whole movie. So I'm going to jump in first with mine. Bennett is the worst action movie villain of all time.
Yep. Absolutely. And so's Arius. Both of them are.
Yeah.
They're both horrible.
Yeah, but Arius is like a really badly done version of something that should be good.
Right.
Whereas Bennett is just like, I don't even know
Like,
what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, like there's nothing believable about him at all. He's like fat. He wears chainmail.
Yeah.
He looks like Freddie Mercury.
Why is he wearing chainmail?
Yeah, it never comes into play.
So apparently there's a different guy that was cast for his role. And the guy that was cast was fired the first day of filming and replaced with the actor who plays Bennett, whose name is escaping.
I can't remember his name right now.
But Bennett was a bigger dude, which is why his clothes all look so tight, apparently. That's the story. He's just like a bigger guy.
We're not gonna refit you.
No.
We're not gonna do it.
We're just gonna give you tiny clothes. He's famous from playing Wes, he's like the crazy villainous nomad in Mad Max 2.
Yeah.
That's like his thing he's most famous for. And then he ends up showing up as like a villain in a bunch of different stuff over the years. But he's just the absolute worst. Nothing about him to me is
Their
even...
fight at the end, when he screams like a woman.
Right.
Screams.
Yep.
Not like a girl, but like a woman. Yeah, and then he goes back to fighting for there's not one moment of them fighting. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
The dude is made out of iron.
Yeah.
And it's this guy that's like a doughboy shoved in chainmail.
Well, the best part is that like there's numerous scenes in this film where Schwarzenegger does things like carry a tree, pushes a pickup truck up a hill,
Tips over a Porsche.
lifts up a phone booth over his head with a man inside
Rips
it,
a car seat out of a car.
is covered in like 9 attacking cops and is able to like single-handedly throw them all off of him with his strength. Yet when he's like holding Bennett's wrist and they're like struggling for power, he like can't move his wrist. He's actually physically unable to. And you could like, I swear to God, you can see Bennett's arms shaking, his flabby little pale arms shaking. Like,
Yeah, there's no muscle definition on him, which is awesome as well.
Unbelievable.
Vernon Wells.
Vernon Wells,
Thank you, Bruce Lee. Holy shit, Bruce Lee's watching this.
Crazy, man.
That's really amazing.
Amazing stuff. What's your thesis?
My thesis statement is very similar to yours.
Yeah.
This is the worst acted movie we've done on this show.
You think so?
All the way across the board.
Worse than First Blood Part 2?
Worse than First Blood Part 2. Worse than Demolition Man. Worse than Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Lord Raiden.
You think so?
Oh, definitely.
Totally.
This is worse acted than...
Donika's like, it's not even a question.
Donika's like, Mortal Kombat's in the conversation. I'm on the mic. Guys, that's Mark Donica. He's our engineer.
Mark, where can the people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica.
He's a lifesaver.
He really is. And he's also the lead host of Video Game Movie Anatomy on this network.
Yeah, he's a lifelong Spice Girls fan. He has a whole collection of stuff. So if you just happen to like the Spice Girls, you want to tweet at him about it. He has like a wealth of knowledge about the subject.
He really
You
does.
gotta get with my friends, am I right?
Yeah, there you go. Whammy. All right. So this is the worst acted movie we've done on the show.
Okay, first of all, the dad from Clueless with his fake accent.
Fantastic.
Bennett is just the worst.
Yeah, he's great.
Arnold is Arnold.
Schwarzenegger.
He's still got his conviction. He's saying everything perfectly. He knows he is. And then I don't want
Ray
to
Don
say.
Chong?
Yeah, I'm always so worried I'm going to say her name and it's going to sound like offensive. Ray Don Chong. Ray Don Chong.
I don't think there's any way you could say it that's different than how it's written.
Well, I know, but I,
aside
always
from
like
what
get.
you just did, which was offensive.
Well, I'm Asian. I'm Korean, so that's how I talk. This is my host voice. She's bad, and I was reading in the chat. Someone was like, "I think she's the worst." Yeah, right here. Ray Dong Chong goes full Home Alone at one point. She's the fucking worst. Quoted by Brian Hurst. You're talking about when she's in the car freaking out,
Yeah.
right? Like that's got to be what you're talking. She is unbearable.
Yeah. She's like Will Smith level Independence Day hard to watch.
Yeah. Like you're just one note the
Right.
whole time.
Yeah. Yep, we went there, guys. We compared Will Smith Independence Day to Ray Don Chong and Commando.
Whoop.
I guess we'll be doing Resurgence in a few weeks.
Oh, we will.
Right?
Yeah, we have to.
I mean, I guess we have to.
It looks awesome. Bill Pullman's
Did you
giving
say
a speech.
awful or
It looks
awesome?
awesome. Awesome.
All right, so that is our thesis statement, guys. Next, we're going to get into Fistbump moment. Routinely the favorite part of the show. This is that moment when you're watching a movie and something happens and you're just kind of like, this is so fucking sweet. Is anybody else seeing this right now? Are you watching this right now? You pick up your phone, you call your buddy. Hey, turn on Commando, put it on like 17 minutes and 42 seconds, and then I'll push play at the same
Ben,
time.
I'm at my grandmother's funeral.
No, just hold on for a second. This is awesome. Trust me. And like,
This is highly inappropriate.
it is not inappropriate. That's a lovely hat. So that's what fist pump moment is, and we are going to share our fist pump moments about the movie Commando. This is a giant walking fist pump moment.
Do we have the same?
I mean, I have a lot because none of them are like mind blowing to me. Where like a fist pump moment in some movies is like a total fist pump moment.
Right.
Just the whole movie is a series of absurd fist pump moments.
Yes.
I think for me, it's when Schwarzenegger. You want to cue the clip, Donica? It's you know what? We can sort of just watch this and talk through it. Is yours from this as well?
I don't know. I don't know what you got.
The saw blade.
Oh no! But that is super awesome. The saw. That's all you have to say.
Yeah. You can cue it up, Donica. Yeah. So Schwarzenegger's the body count in this film has been estimated by a couple different people, but it's loosely estimated, I believe, to be 109 people that Schwarzenegger kills, or 102 maybe. Whatever it is, I wrote it
Pretty
down.
great. Yeah, it's 102 that estimated. 107 total, I think.
Yeah. So many of them he kills here. He's a one-man wrecking crew. I like that when he throws a grenade and it blows up like 5 feet from someone,
Yeah.
they go flying, you don't get back up. When a grenade goes up and he goes flying, he gets up and has like a cut on his side.
Like very small.
Yeah, but he's good.
But he's fine. This is one of the more absurd scenes ever, and it's not even that awesome.
No.
But it's super awesome at the same time.
Our buddy Mikey was saying like when he was a kid he had the poster and he like this movie was the shit.
He
when it
loved
came
this
out.
movie. Yeah, he was 8 years old when this movie came out, and he loved it. Like the same way that like I love Con Air.
Right.
That's how he loves this movie.
Yeah, unsurprising. I mean, unsurprising. This movie is a classic for a reason. It's a classic to like people. Vintage Schwarzenegger is like it's kind of a genre of its own.
Oh, definitely.
So like The Running Man and like this movie, you know, Red Heat, Raw Deal,
Yep.
like those movies from the mid to Conan. People just like love that because it's so absurd. In a way that they don't love the 90s ones, they don't like hold the same way. Like True Lies definitely does.
I mean, because these movies were just bad movies with him in it.
Yeah,
that's
like
it.
Like Eraser, for instance, is one of those movies where you're just like, that's fine, but like,
Right.
it's not like loved in the same way that like Commando is loved.
Yeah, but I think people were getting a little tired of it.
Yeah. Here it is. It's my favorite. Hey, nobody thinks to shoot high. It's, you know, it's not like he could be
No,
hiding.
you only shoot at body length or
Yeah.
height. Pitchfork.
Ah! This is my favorite.
That's the top of his head off.
Well, that's great. And then this too, right here.
The
He gets
arm?
Yeah, the arm.
Oh man,
That's my fist bump moment.
that's a good one. That is a very good one. Yeah, the machete chop is great.
It's really high on the list. Yeah.
I honestly think my fist pump moment is because you were so excited about it, and And you're like, he's carrying a tree. And I was like, well, how big is the tree? And what kind of tree is it? No, it's a straight up fucking tree.
It's straight up like a
real
like
tree.
a redwood.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's when the movie starts and he's walking through the forest, glistening as ever. Of
course.
Carrying a tree and a chainsaw, and you see how massive his bicep is.
Yeah.
That I was just like, yep, this is it. This is all you need. This is what the people want to see.
and then the whole sequence of him playing with his daughter when she like gets ice cream on his nose.
You know what? That's right. It's when they feed, like the outfit changes are amazing, and then them just feeding the deer.
They're feeding a deer, and Schwarzenegger's like, yeah, it's amazing.
It's very good.
I always loved the ice cream in the nose was like iconic for me when I remember this movie. It's just like, let's eat some ice cream. Oh, it's all over my nose. Why would you do that? All right.
I don't know why you guys watch this show, but I love it.
Did anybody notice how terrible this guy's mustache is?
This is a good mustache.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely awful.
So, all right, let's get into star profiles, guys. Let's talk about where these guys were in their careers. Very different places in their careers, these two.
Yes.
So Schwarzenegger had just done Red Sonja in '85. That's the third Conan movie. Very bad. Terminator.
You do one every year, right? Three in a row.
Yeah, was it 83, 84, 85, or was it 82, 84, 85?
I'm not positive on the first one.
They're starting to make a Red Sonja movie now. They're like, I met the girl who her husband owns the rights to it, and she had a whole conversation with her last week about it. But Red Sonja is not particularly good. Terminator is obviously a classic, and it's funny to see that Terminator showed up in '84 after the Conan movies came out, because the Conan movies, like, they were like famous movies already, and like Terminator I always thought was a much more like indie, like nobody knew who he was yet kind of a thing. But like clearly people did, because there had already been two Conan movies.
I mean, I was looking because I thought the same thing, but when I went through his IMDb, he'd actually done about like almost 20 credits before that movie, and some of
Terminator?
it was TV. Yeah,
Really?
like maybe it's closer to like 10 or 15, but it was a lot.
Because there's like Stay Hungry, there's the Scavenger Hunt.
I couldn't even tell you, dude.
There's Hercules New York, there's Conan 1, Conan 2.
There's maybe some TV stuff on there.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it's kind of like what it is for every actor when they're getting their feet off the ground.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. And he was, former 7-time Mr. Olympia, so he was getting prime time roles.
People love just looking at him.
Yeah,
That's really all it was.
I do.
I do too.
Vintage Schwarzenegger is like in a class of his own. He's like, Vintage Schwarzenegger is like, if you compare him to like modern day bodybuilders, it's like, it makes modern day bodybuilders look kind of gross to look at.
Yeah,
Like, they're
because
just-
he looked so natural.
Yeah.
and even though he wasn't.
Right.
But there was just something about like bodybuilders now. It's like the tanning and the oil. Like they look roided out.
They're just massive people.
Yeah.
They're just too big. So anyway, that's where Schwarzenegger was, and this is right before the massive explosion, because Terminator, he's a villain, and Red Sonja and Conan, those are really campy movies, but Predator is like the next year.
Yeah, Predator's the next year, and then he does Terminator Terminator 2 a few years later.
after that.
And then there's what else is in the
So
in the
True
middle
Lies
there?
is 94, and like he's just got this run there of like about 6 or 7 years where like he was just doing actually like pretty solid movies.
Yeah.
He has the comedies that get thrown in there too, like
Right.
Twins.
I do love Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, of course. So in any case, the Radon Chong though. So I've actually seen American Flyers. Have you?
Really?
Yeah.
I have not. No.
Yeah. City Limits and Choose Me Never. But American Flyers is a movie with Costner. It's a biking movie. It's like Costner and another guy and
Like
their brothers.
like a bicycle.
They're like competitive, like ride through the mountains competitors. But one of them has like a condition that makes it so that if he pushes himself too hard, he'll have an aneurysm. And I seem to remember that when he's driving or he's riding his bike at one point, it's like a high altitude, just starts bleeding from his ear or something, like falls over. off the
Costner
bike.
does?
It's him or the other guy.
This sounds enthralling.
It was good. And then Radon Chong's in the movie, I think, as the love interest. I saw it like literally 15 years ago, probably, so I don't remember much about it. But it's one of those movies that I remember watching on TV at a hotel on a family trip when my dad had seen it. And like, there's like there's like a scene where like Radon Chong does something that's like sultry, like maybe she like drops her panties, or like maybe she is gonna leave the room and he's like stay, and she like shuts the door. And as a kid, you're like,
Oh my God, what's gonna happen?
whatever the thing was, I don't actually remember what it was, but I was like, oh, they're gonna have sex. This is great.
This is great. Sex is cool. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be sweet.
I'm 13. This is awesome. I might have been younger, honestly.
She did get more attractive throughout the film.
Definitely.
Yes, I was gonna say this fact is my favorite thing about this show.
Movie?
Yeah, my favorite thing, my fist pump moment is this fact, which is
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Radon Chong shot a love scene, but this was so unconvincing it was dropped from the movie.
like that.
Yeah.
Of all, like this whole movie is unconvincing. So I wish I could see this sex scene so badly.
It must be so unwatchable.
No.
Hey,
Hey, what's a nice hat you're wearing?
you look very beautiful. No, amazing. Just we should reenact that love scene. We should write it.
I'm definitely gonna be Ray Dong Chong.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, are you gonna do your raid on Chong voice?
No.
Okay. So I totally agree with you that is absurd. That the fact that was dropped from the movie. I don't know how it could have been that bad.
I don't.
But
Yeah.
let's talk about production development, how this movie got made, where it was made, when it was made, so on and so forth. We have a group of writers, a very interesting group of writers, actually. Here we go. These are the notes I was looking for. Martial arts expert and fight choreographer Michael W. Vendrell worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger on the film, and by the end of production, Vendrell estimated that Schwarzenegger would become a secondary black belt.
He was just hoping that someone would read that and hire him.
Yeah, just absurd, just completely absurd. And then here was the South Central American community used by Hollywood from the 1980s to early 90s, the country of Valverde. That's what it was. Because without encountering diplomatic problems.
Oh,
so
that's what the. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. They'd said that earlier in the chat.
Yeah.
When we were talking, someone
Yeah.
said Valverde. I thought they were talking about a person. I didn't know.
Yeah, Valverde. So it's also a reference to the films Predator, Die Hard 2, and the made-for-TV movie Super Carrier: Deadly Enemies from 1988, which I think is
love that film.
You've seen that film?
No.
Nope. Me neither. Never heard of it. So this movie is written by Stephen E. DeSouza, Jeff Loeb, and Matthew Weissman. So Weissman is the most irrelevant of the three. He's got credits, but like worked as a writer and producer essentially alongside Jeff Loeb on various other things, and Jeff Loeb and also the director, John Lester. So
The big guy was Steven, right?
Stephen E. DeSouza. So DeSouza wrote Die Hard. That's his big credit. These were like two of his big credits. He's written a bunch of other stuff too. But
48 Hours.
Yeah. We covered him when we did the Die Hard episode. The funny thing is, there was a sequel to this film in production. They wanted Schwarzenegger to do a sequel. It was going to be based on a book, and DeSouza adapted it. And that eventually became Die Hard, and Bruce Willis was cast in it.
Oh, really?
That's the sequel to Commando.
Huh.
So, right? Isn't that funny?
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, totally. So that's the story. But DeSouza is like pretty famous. Like he's written, he's directed. His movies have made over $2 billion at the box office. He's worked on all kinds of stuff. He directed Street Fighter in '94.
Really good. With Jean-Claude.
Yeah, I mean, he's written movies that were good. He's also written movies that won Razzies for the worst. Hudson Hawk won a Razzie.
Yeah, it was not a good one.
Now, here's an interesting thing. Jeff Loeb. This is my favorite. So I grew up a comic book fan. You guys know this if you watch the show. Jeff Loeb is a guy who I read his comics growing up all the time. Super famous comic book writer. Wrote
yeah. Okay.
tons and tons and tons of Batman, Superman, Daredevil, and he wrote Teen Wolf, the movie in '85, and this, and somewhere in the '90s transitioned into working on like superhero and comic book adaptations for TV. Eventually became like a producer on Smallville, and now literally works on everything from like
He's so happy with himself.
works on everything from like Legion. He's executive producing Daredevil. He's executive producing Luke Cage.
And you can
Iron
just
Fist.
stop right there. The fact that he's exec producing Daredevil, which is got to be the biggest Netflix show.
Yeah, I mean, people really did like it a lot.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. So Jeff Loeb is awesome. I loved his stuff growing up. I mean, he wrote like Daredevil Yellow and Superman Blue and like all these awesome books. So I think that's pretty funny that Jeff Loeb is one of the premier writers on this film. Then you have Mark Lester.
Mark Lester.
I said John Lester a second ago, but I meant to say Mark Lester. And that is he's relevant.
Yeah.
But he's totally irrelevant.
Yeah, like he's made.
Like this is like the most famous movie he ever directed. Then he also did like the supernatural thriller Firestarter in '84.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like he got lucky. He was in the right place, right time. He got to do this.
If you look at the rest of his credits, he worked consistently on like at least a movie a year from like '85 up till now, and none of them are hits.
Yeah, I was actually looking at Ray Dong Chong's IMDb, and she's been in stuff She works a lot.
Yeah.
She's working.
Yeah.
Just like him.
Yep. And I mean, look,
Never heard of either of them.
No knock on anybody who gets consistent work, but
No, not at all. I mean, I would love to be. I'm sure I would love to have the career of Ray Dong Chong. Honestly.
Of course. And I mean, it says on his IMDb profile, director and producer Mark L. Lester has created high action films throughout his career, including some of the world's biggest box office draws. No.
No.
He made Commando. That was
yeah.
That was
which made good money for the time,
was like,
I guess.
Yeah, it made like okay money. Like,
Yeah.
pretty. I guess. Actually, for the time, for inflation, yeah, it did very well.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing compared to what movies make now, but
No.
So in any case, that's him, and then you have Joel Silver, who is
We've talked about a lot lately.
like last week or 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago on The Nice Guys. I feel like we talked about him like a couple weeks before that.
Yeah, I mean he's a legend. Joel Silver, Jerry Bruckheimer. There's a few guys that have done the biggest projects.
Yep.
Silver's, various franchises, the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. And
He's in the same argument, like you said, with Bruckheimer of being one of the greatest action movie producers of of all time.
franchises, just
Yeah.
huge franchises. Worked with Schwarzenegger a bunch, made tons of money. Still reasonably relevant. Still works on pretty
Absolutely.
big stuff.
Yeah.
Not quite as big in terms of like. Doesn't have the franchise, sort of like the hard-hitting franchises.
Right, but he'll still, if Joel Silver has written a movie, he can make it happen and he can direct it and he can get one of the biggest stars in the world in it easy.
Yeah. The thing is, nowadays, the movies that are those, that used to be those movies, are now the Marvel movies and the DC movies. Those are your big blockbusters. So unless you're a guy that was in on the inside working those deals, you're not gonna, like, Joel Silver's not gonna produce Marvel.
You can't dip your fingers in that.
Yeah, exactly.
You're out.
It's very hard. It's extremely difficult now for an original concept to make the kind of money these movies used to make.
God, it's such a bummer.
It is. I mean, I'm really curious. Like, Edge of Tomorrow, we talk about a lot. We love that movie.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was done so well, and it cost all this money, and it like made its money back. It like did okay.
Is it called Live, Die, Repeat, like 2, essentially?
The sequel.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna title it, but like, I'm trying to. There's a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow. And that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's been confirmed. Cruise confirmed it recently. I don't know how you make a sequel to that movie. Like, I tried to think, like, you get a writer a lot smarter than we are to sit down and come up with something really unique. But like, how do you make that interesting?
Yeah, because the first one, I felt like, don't get me wrong, I love the first film.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite ones we've done on the show. It ended for a reason. I don't want to see a second Looper. I don't want to see The Last Samurai 2. Like, there's reasons movies end when they end.
Yeah.
Predator should have just ended when it ended.
Right.
But it didn't, and now it's become one of the weirdest, longest running franchises of being good and bad.
Yeah.
Predator 2 was on the other day, right before you came over to watch Commando. I don't know which one was worse.
Really? Predator's that bad? I don't remember Predator being that bad.
I mean, I need to watch the whole thing, but I just watched like the last 30 minutes of it. It was not good. Okay, well, let's get into box office since we were just talking about that. This is made by Fox. That's it.
Film made by Fox on a $10 million budget over, I believe it took like 37 or 43 days to shoot, maybe is what I read.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah, not a particularly long shoot.
Can't imagine why. It opened October 4th, 1985. It grossed $35 million domestically and 22 worldwide for 5.7 or 57 million total, which, I mean, if you're getting 5 to almost 6 times your budget back in anything you do, that's a win.
Non sequitur, back to the Schwarzenegger and a Speedo conversation. Who in the chat, like, imagine this situation where somebody says to Schwarzenegger, they're like, all right, so yeah, you get out of the the boat, you get in this life raft here, and you're gonna paddle to the shore. And Schwarzenegger's like, I would like to wear a Speedo. And they're like, why, Schwarzenegger? Why do you need to do that? What's the point? He's like, what do you think his justification is to the producers? What does he say? Like, what?
Do you know anyone else that looks as good in the Speedo?
Yeah. Anybody in the chat. I just was like thinking about that conversation. Like, what's the moment? Like, the thing is, like, it's not even like shorts or like like trunks.
No,
it's
it could be like those old James Bond like short trunks, the really short. It's like a halfway between a swim trunks and a Speedo.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
Just a straight up banana hammock Speedo. Should have been a thong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Might as well have been.
Tanning.
Yeah. By the way, guys, I'm seeing that you guys saw Nice Guys. Go watch our episode on it. It was one of my favorite movies we've done on this show.
Yeah, hilarious.
It was amazing.
Pissed myself laughing. Like,
he actually did. It was very uncomfortable for me.
It was very good.
It was early on
Yeah.
that you peed yourself.
Yeah.
Anyway. Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Critically, this movie got a 6.7, and it's weird because there were a few top critic reviews, but there was no score available.
It's old. When you get this old with these movies, what tends to happen is that we go off of Rotten Tomatoes, and there's generally less and less of the top critics that have reviewed this movie.
Yeah, there was like 4.
Yeah, it's also a little unfair because a lot of the reviews you do get are not pulled directly from that time. They're
Right.
actually like somebody reviewing it later, at which point movies like this, you had to review this when you saw it because there's a time capsule.
Yeah, exactly.
If you try to review this movie in 2003 when the internet's taking off and like there's all kinds of sites, you're going to look at this movie totally the wrong way.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
But regardless, it got 69% by all and a 67% by the audience, which is the exact same as IMDb. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. It's like, I mean, 70's not bad.
Yeah, right.
Really, you know, like it passes. I pulled 2 fresh reviews this week.
I loved both of them.
I thought you would.
Yeah, I thought
You could take your pick and read which one you want.
I'll start with the first one. Chicago reader Dave Kerr. Comic book stuff helped out by the presence of Radon Chong as an airline stewardess whose sarcastic commentary adds some comic counterpoint to the deliberately overscaled action. She adds some much-needed sarcasm.
She sure does. The Variety staff at Variety wrote, Chong lights up the film like a firefly. Schwarzenegger delivers a certain light touch of his own, and the result is a palatable action comic. Wow. Really?
She lit up the bedroom like a firefly.
She sure
That's why they
did.
had to cut the scene.
The fact that it was, I mean, there was 4 top critic reviews, and I only pulled top critic reviews, and 2 of them were rotten, and they were, I mean, there's not much. They were just like, this is a bad movie, you know?
This isn't good. If I spend any more time explaining it.
Yeah, then you're an idiot. The other 2 were literally just about Radon Chong's great performance, so I had to do it. I had to pull him. I know you guys loved her. All right, Bateman, what is your
Favorite line?
favorite line?
There's a lot, but I really do think that it's when Bill Duke is like, so there's like the whole exchange where they're fighting in the hotel room, and Bill Duke's like, take out it, I'm a Green Beret, motherfucker. And Schwarzenegger's like, I ate Green Berets for breakfast, which is great. And then he's like, fuck you, asshole. And Schwarzenegger's like, fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, I'm saying fuck you, asshole is my favorite line in the movie.
But it's more like, fuck you, asshole.
Fuck you, asshole. Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, it's a good line. My favorite line is when the black security mall guard gets called. He's talking to 2 ladies.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, I don't think I can take him on home. He's like, I'll be right there. Want to see me kick some ass? Like to the 2 girls he walks. It was just so awesome.
I like that line. I also like because this movie. So at the time it wasn't, but now in retrospect, this movie is just the walking, talking cliche. It's got It's got all the cliches in it.
Yeah,
So
everything.
much
Everything
is,
you expect.
So much is built on this movie. So I love when Kirby shows up to get Schwarzenegger at the beginning, and he's like, John, are you in there? And and Schwarzenegger takes his gun, and he's like, what's he say? He's like, you're getting slow or something like that. And he's like, you're still great at what you do, John. And he's like, you taught me or something like that. It's like, come on, guys.
Why are the 2 of you talking to each other? This should not be in the movie.
It's like, you're just giving us such unnecessary exposition.
The general's the worst.
Kirby?
He's just like, that dude is less than one-dimensional.
He's fantastic.
He's horrible.
He's just a carbon copy of like the general from First Blood, straight up.
Yeah.
But but the general from First Blood is just
Has
like,
emotion.
he's just like, for some reason he's more memorable or charismatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because he has emotion.
Even when you see Kirby first show up and he's got on like his military, the military hat and the whole like the sweater and everything, he's like the the proper official garb. I just like started laughing as soon as he showed up. Like it's just like. 80s movies, the way that they portrayed like military guys is just like so preposterous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So
and
silly.
90s movies, they portray them all as idiots. I'm
Yeah.
the lead guy. It's someone said the Commando wears underwear in the comics. Is that true? It just said Commando wears underwear. I'm assuming they mean in the comics.
Was there a Commando comic that I missed?
Or wait, what?
What?
That's what it said.
Oh, I don't know.
No, never mind.
I was literally just asking what we think that Schwarzenegger said to the producers to convince them to let
No,
him
I
wear
know.
it.
You said. All right, let's move on to our rankings here, which it's... At first, I didn't think you ranked Matrix, and I was shocked.
No, of course I ranked Matrix.
I was like, Ben didn't rank it. A Schwarzenegger guy?
Of course I ranked him.
But we both did. Yours is about half... Your phone
Yeah.
is driving me crazy.
killing you?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yours is like half... Like, is high on the... Mine's doubly as bad as yours, is what I'm trying to say.
you don't like John Matrix.
I would not pick this guy for anything.
You put John Matrix behind Aaron Cross?
I'm like, if I'm going to move, I'll call him.
You put, you put him behind Max Roxtansky?
I put him behind almost everyone.
You put him ahead of John Spartan.
Yep.
That's unbelievable. You put him ahead of Hoover.
Yeah. I don't know why this is surprising you.
It's John Matrix,
You
man.
watched the movie.
Yeah, John Matrix. He's great. I put him. Looks like I put him directly behind Rogue Nation, Ethan Hunt, and London Has Fallen.
But the people he's in front of...
Thirsty as fuck.
Thirsty as fuck.
But he's ahead of a couple of important people. Looks like he's
Yeah.
Casey Ryback. He's ahead of John Creasy. He's ahead of Olympus Has Fallen banning.
Travesty.
He's ahead of the Nice Guys.
Casey Ryback.
He's ahead of Charles Morse.
Casey Ryback can throw knives. I guess Arnold can throw knives in this too.
He also can launch them from from spring-loaded.
You can also
sockets.
throw saw blades. All right, fair enough. Our movie rankings were definitely much closer.
If there's any confusion, Bennett is not ranked.
He's not going to be on our list.
It's hard to find villains that rank. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Our heroes ranking is like literally twice as long as our villains ranking.
Yeah, our villains ranking is very short.
Yeah, there's not that many.
Oh, dude, I was watching Gone Baby Gone yesterday night.
Yeah.
Very odd movie to watch as you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
Ed Harris is so good in that too.
I forgot that he was even in that.
Oh, me too. But he has another one of his like awesome like General Hummit like I will cut you the fuck down.
He's a cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
He's so good, man.
Yeah, I do remember liking him a lot.
I love him.
Yeah, Ed Harris. I've heard he's a prick, but
I don't care.
yeah. He's one of those guys that if I ever do, like, he's one of those guys that the day I get to meet him, like on a red carpet, whatever
Right.
it is, it'll be like a total, like, holy shit moment.
Yeah.
Like, you're General fucking Hummel. Like,
Yeah. And he's also just an amazing actor.
yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Hummel, as much as we love him, is not even in his top 5 performances,
No,
probably.
definitely
Like,
not.
Yeah, he's been in it's just tons of amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Great actor.
I would love to meet him. Okay, so I have the movie ranked at 49, which is like 5th from the bottom, 6th from the bottom.
Pretty low. I
Yeah.
put it at 41, and that's because for me, like, there's a certain amount of like campiness that is like it's a classic for a reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like the stuff that I put it ahead of, it's like it makes you so mad that Kill Bill's below this.
It's just unbelievable to me.
Like Fifth Element is like I didn't enjoy Fifth Element as much as this movie, but like
Yeah.
the stuff that's just right ahead of it, which is like
the fact that it's ahead of Fifth Element too is also a travesty.
you think so?
Even though I don't love the Fifth Element, I think it's a cool movie, but still.
Like putting Taken and John Wick directly ahead of this to me is that's indicative of where this movie is for me. Because
Yeah.
those are updated absurd movies that are like super ridiculous and funny, but like they're more enjoyable to watch. So they just beat it. Whereas like Fifth Element or I mean Olympus Has Fallen. God, is this how did I put this ahead of Olympus?
Olympus was awesome.
Sweet. Kill Bill, Lethal Weapon. Such a shame that we have such a poor estimation of Lethal Weapon on
I
this
mean,
show.
I know Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, and First Blood Part 2 are all so
Yeah.
whatever to me.
Die Hard is super high for me.
Yeah, Die Hard is high for you, but not for me.
Yeah, but
it's
the other-
higher.
Yeah. Die Hard's better. It's the best of those movies.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on to our recast. I did mine a little different. I think because this movie was so absurd, I think my casting is just to make me laugh. Other than the lead two characters.
My recast is weird.
Okay.
It's just a strange hodgepodge. It doesn't feel very cohesive. I'll explain each of my choices. There is one choice that I used that is a classic choice for me. I think we each have sort of like our there's obviously Alicia Vikander, but
Yeah.
I think we each have like our person that we slot in like a little too often because we are always pleased by the idea of putting them in a movie.
Yeah,
And-
of course.
And I think you know who mine is, and it will make sense when I explain him.
I'm sure.
But I think he'd be perfect in this role. So let's start with Sully.
Okay.
Let's start with Sully. I went with Ben Mendelsohn. So
I love Ben Mendelsohn.
love Ben Mendelsohn.
He's very good.
Great actor.
Yeah.
And fantastic in Bloodline.
Yep.
But he's kind of a shitweasel.
He's total shitweasel.
And he could play Sully perfectly.
Yeah, he's good in Dark Knight Rises. He's good in Animal Kingdom. He's very talented.
Yeah.
I want Peter Dinklage.
Okay. That's so good. He's just creeping, just walking as fast as he possibly
Walking
can.
behind the.
As fast as he can with his little legs to keep up. Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's really, really fucked up. Yeah. But really funny. And I love Peter Dinklage.
I love Peter. He's amazing.
The fact that you haven't watched Game of Thrones blows my mind.
I've watched 2 episodes. It was very good.
You're gonna if we had the true numbers watching the show that we thought, you would get crucified.
I
for
know.
that.
I know. Look, I love the show. I just haven't had time to watch it. All right, who did you put for wannabe Freddie Mercury?
I'm gonna let you just guess because this is the one.
No.
Okay, Danny McBride.
Oh, it's Danny McBride. That's so good. Oh, that's so good.
In the chainmail,
Oh my god.
the mustache.
That's real. It's better
All
than,
of it.
I mean, I loved mine.
Yeah.
I did Val Kilmer, Fat Val Kilmer.
Oh, that's also really good though.
But thinking of Danny McBride playing that seriously, like, really makes me happy.
Basically the outfit that he wears in This Is the End at the end when he's
Right.
got Channing Tatum on a leash.
Yep.
I call him Channing
Just-
Tatum. Just like basically that outfit, except in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, comic relief.
Who'd you go for your wannabe Puerto Rican / South American that I wrote on here?
I changed it the nationality because it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, I know, me too.
I decided we could go North Korean. And
Okay.
I chose the actor that plays Shang Tsung, whose name is I'm forgetting.
Robin Chow?
Yeah, Robin Chow.
Yeah,
And he's
amazing.
he's my guy. So
Well, I actually wanted to stick with the same idea that they had in this film.
Okay.
Which is where someone who's off race plays a different race.
Yeah.
So I went with Paul Bettany.
Oh God.
Because he's really white
Pale
and British
ginger.
and ginger, and I think he'd be a great. What was the place called?
Great. Valverden.
Valverden. He would be a great Valverden.
We need to bring Valverde back.
We
Wait,
do.
Ben, real quick. Did you say the guy who played Shang Tsung?
Robin
Yeah.
Shaw, right?
No, that's Kerry Tagawa.
Oh, right.
Robin
Robin
Shaw
Shaw
is
Liu Kang?
Is Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you to Donica,
I
our
know.
resident Mortal Kombat expert.
When I said that, I was like, that's wrong. I knew it was wrong.
I still love you. Don't worry.
I still love you too. Thanks for that.
This is my favorite of all my casting.
Really?
Because
I wasn't serious on the last two, unfortunately.
Oh, really? See, for me, I thought she adds so little to the movie and the movie we just watched that what I really want is somebody to actually execute on comic relief. Also, their romance is so unbelievable that I don't need her to be attractive to me.
Right.
Or not even go as far as to say attractive.
Did you go with Melissa McCarthy?
I thought about it. I
Amy
did.
Schumer?
Amy Schumer.
You
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
You did go Amy Schumer. Oh, that's great.
And when I say like I actually Amy Schumer is she is cute.
She would actually be funny in this
That's
instead
what
of
I'm saying.
annoying.
Yeah, Amy Schumer, she is capable of looking sexy when they make her look sexy.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like,
of course.
she can totally do it. So, but I think it would be like the perfect. I think it would be like the perfect deal where she'd have a little bit of the sassy sex appeal, but she'd be funny.
I think we both kind of were on the same because I went with Maya Rudolph.
Okay, yes, same kind of deal. Same
Yeah.
kind of deal. For Schwarzenegger, we always go The Rock. And
Yeah, you can't. We can't.
I didn't.
Good.
I'm
I'm just saying. I was telling our fans we just can't use The Rock anymore for just being a big badass in an action movie. It's not fair.
He's great. It's just that it's just not fair. We've done it too much.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, you guys are sitting here having the conversation in chat about saying how they're going back and forth between who's better between Arnold and The Rock.
Yeah.
Saying The Rock has more charisma, Arnold's a better actor, this type of thing.
Is he?
Yeah, well, it's split down the middle, but so we don't use him anymore for that point. Who'd you use?
Idris Elba.
Oh, that's cool.
Right?
I like that.
I think he would bring the seriousness, and the idea of Idris Elba and Amy Schumer like partnering up sounds really funny to me.
Yeah, it would make a really odd to look at couple. So would mine.
And Idris fighting Danny McBride
Would be
also really funny,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pictured my two people fighting. I pictured Jose Batista fighting with Val Kilmer.
You chose Jose Batista as Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
From Dexter?
No. That's his name in the show is Batista.
Sure.
Batista's the guy. He's the MMA guy.
Yeah, right,
and he was
right.
Inspector.
That's right, that guy.
Yeah.
Dave Bautista.
Dave Batista.
Dave Batista. God,
Yeah.
I'm killing it with the names today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but him fighting Val Kilmer with Maya Rudolph on the side cheering them on.
I also like the idea of Batista from Dexter.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's pretty funny too. Solid, very solid recast.
Very good.
If anybody wants to share your recast with us in the comments, we always love to read that and hear what you have to say.
I got called Master Recaster already. How do you feel about that?
Who called you? Was it Hurst?
Rangers fan, 1996.
Thanks, Rangers fan 1996.
Yes, thank you, Rangers fan.
I hate this show. I hate it. I will return. It has begun.
Raiden.
Can we just do Mortal Kombat again?
Would love to.
I feel like we should because Donica had that wonderful moment of audio.
We had some technical difficulties, and we should just do it again and bring him on.
Yeah, Donica, would you want to just do the episode with us?
Yeah, sure. We'll pre-record it and then just remove the old one.
That way,
so that it never happened.
That way, nothing can go wrong. That episode never took off anyway, so it's totally fine. I think that episode has like less than 1,000 hits on YouTube. So why don't we just do that and just
You're welcome.
yeah, we'll just do it again.
Sorry, Ron. Neither of us were in fraternities in college. I apologize. We've been nerds most of our life.
Yeah, big time nerds.
Yep.
Yeah, huge.
So the 3 categories, man. I feel like this is going to be a real debate.
Yes. Totally. There's 3 action movie categories. There are 3 action movie categories. There's totally ridiculous, totally legitimate, and legitimately ridiculous. We've explained them 55 times.
Yep.
They are movies that fall off a cliff of absurdity, like Con Air, Face Off, and Commando.
Commando. Absolutely.
Movies that are totally legit, like Terminator 2, The Fugitive, or The Matrix, that just really hold together dramatically. And then movies that are in the middle, which are kind of absurd, but that have a driving sort of sense of something extremely compelling that keeps you really in. And that's
The
like
Rock,
Speed, The
Predator,
Rock, Predator.
yeah.
This movie to me is unquestionably totally ridiculous. There's nothing about this movie that's even remotely legitimate.
Nothing is grounded in reality here. One of my favorite moments of it just not being grounded in reality at all is when Arnold is breaking into the army surplus store. They rob it blind.
Yeah.
They throw everything in the car.
Yeah.
And then he gets arrested, and she's just sitting there in the car with all the shit. They don't even look at her. And then she pulls up next to him in the same car with all the shit still in it, and they're just like, "Oh, hey, it's
a girl.
It's a girl. I'm a guy. Let's sex."
Yeah. Hey, this girl's totally into us, man.
Yeah.
Look at this girl.
I bet she looks like she's got something for us. I bet she does.
I bet she does.
And then she shoots him with a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
While he's in the car.
You know what's funny? We grew up because of our age. The 80s and the 90s were like just this mecca of like female objectification in movies, right? Mm-hmm. Like the women in these movies are usually like objects to be saved. They show their tits in the 80s and the 90s a lot.
Yep, they do.
There's just like very, very, they don't give them much. They don't make them. Now we are in a whole different era of the world now.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, they didn't do that with her in this film. She didn't ever get naked. She wasn't like a sex symbol.
No.
She was supposed to be there for comic relief, which she did horribly at.
Yeah.
Unless you're the two reviewers that we talked about earlier.
It's just funny because, like, I know that there are people in the world and places in the world where, like, guys still act like that and women are still, like, they're still brainwashed into thinking they should be objectified.
Right.
But, like, it's weird to feel like I live in a time now where I don't really feel like I interact with much of that, ever. Like, I don't really meet women who feel that way about themselves, and I don't really meet a lot of guys that feel that way about women and are willing to even, like, do that in the world. Like, it's such an archaic way of the world. It's just not how it is anymore.
Yeah, I was driving around this guy the other day. He was just like a coworker, and we were like pulled up to a stoplight, and he like whistled at a girl.
Yeah,
like sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
and I looked at him, and I was kind of like in my head, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
you whistling at a girl right now in my car?
Yeah,
it's not gonna work."
Yeah, it's weird.
I'm turned off by you right now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I just think it's so interesting. I know that it still exists in the world. It's a fucked up thing that it is, and that like people still think that that's okay.
Right.
But it's cool that like at least in our pocket of the world where we live, like we don't really have to run into that too much. You know, the world is evolving. So,
right. She does shoot the van with him in it. She misses the first time, then flips it around and shoots the back of it, and it flips over.
It's another good moment.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shoot this rocket.
Yeah. Inside of the vehicle of the person I'm trying to save.
Yeah,
and he's going to be fine.
Of course he's going to be fine.
He picks up phone booths.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, that pretty much does that. We have one more thing to do. That is called The Pitch. Wow, nice.
Bang, bang.
It's good.
It's very good.
So we're, again, guys, this is going to be the same deal as last week. Other than that, or we could throw out, what should we do?
Let's do what we did last week. I like that.
Yeah, people tweet in what you want to see next week. Some of those ones that we heard from you last week are really interesting. We are not averse to trying any number of movies. So, like, don't think because you've suggested it once and it hasn't gotten done, we haven't heard you.
I have been suggesting The Hunted for 6 months.
The Raid Redemption is a movie we're definitely going to do someday. We haven't done True Lies yet. Like, The Ghost in the Darkness, I've never seen. And that would be an awesome movie. Like, think about The Edge and think about how much fun that episode was for us and how much you guys enjoyed it. If that ever can happen with a movie on this show, it should.
Yeah.
So
those are the best episodes.
Yeah. We're into it. Like, we're willing to try anything out. Throw out your suggestions. Tweet at the show at AMA Podcast. I'm at Ben Bateman Media.
I am at Andrew Ghai.
Thank you for watching the episode today. Commando was a blast. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.